Welcome back to Skyrim Modders. Today we'll be looking at SparrowPrince, and he's one of my favourite modders of all time, and some of these mods are on my essential list, and I just pretty much couldn't play the game without them. But before we start, I should quickly mention that all of these mods no longer have separate pages on the Nexus site. Instead, they're in one huge mod called the Ruffled Feather, and I think this is a very good idea, so it merges everything into one mod. It just makes it quite convenient, and it's easy to use, as when you install it on the Nexus mod manager, you get different options for which mod you want to install. And they all install in separate plugins, which is nice, so you can turn them off if you wish as well. So without further ado, we'll move on to the first mod. Now this mod is Water, which stands for Water and Terrain Enhancement Redux. And quite obviously it retextures water and just overall improves the look of water and areas around water, waterfalls, and just everything you can think of really. And this is a mod that's been around for quite a long time, and now is part of this Ruffled Feather mod pack, and as you can see, it looks great. So next we'll move on to the Better Dynamic Snow mod. And this is a mod I've covered before in my mod comparisons. I compared it to another mod called Get Snowy. You can watch that here. And in that video I decided this mod was my favourite by far. And there's also no FPS drop whatsoever. So up next we have Just Ice. Now this mod started off as a water optional, and I was unaware of its existence. And since I've installed it, I've actually really liked it. It adds a sort of fantasy-like texture to the ice and the glaciers, and it really does go well with Better Dynamic Snow. And that leads on to our next mod, Moss Rocks, which quite simply adds moss to certain rocks. And it's just one of those little immersion things that just you have to have installed, really. And that's what these mods are. They're small mods but add big things to your game. Another one that's in the optionals is Enhanced Distant Terrain, which basically improves the look of terrain in the distance, and another one which I've been using a lot is Decrease Those Plants, which basically reduces the meshes of plants without losing any visual quality, but at the same time you get an FPS boost, and I do get a 5 frames per second boost from it, which is very nice, so it's a mod I'll be keeping installed for a very long time. So the last mod I'm going to talk about is Vibrant Auroras. And this quite simply increases the vibrancy of auroras, and as you can see they look amazing. So with that in mind, let's hope we have more of these fantastic mods to come from SparrowPrince. But in the meantime, there's plenty enough to enjoy here. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and next time we'll be looking at a modder called Cabal120, and he is behind the Amidian Born series of texture mods. So until then, I'll see you around.